Jill Duggar and her husband, Derick, have managed to get back together with her father, Jim Bob, at the family's ranch in Arkansas. In the background of a shot that her brother James posted on Instagram, a group of attentive followers noticed the three of them speaking in the living room during the annual Christmas event that the Duggar family takes part in. Derick may be seen sitting next to Jim Bob on the couch, while Jill is seen sitting on the opposite side of her husband, clutching a coffee mug. This is after years of feuding between the two of them. An admirer remarked, "Jill appears to be anxious." Another individual remarked, "It does appear to be a little tense. I'm happy Jill is allowed now to spend the holidays with her brothers and sisters," according to another individual. During the year 2019, Derick revealed to his followers in a comment that was buried on Instagram that he and Jill were not permitted to visit the family home without first receiving permission from Jim Bob. He made this statement in reference to Jill's assistance to her sister Jessa, saying, "Jill even had to ask JB permission to go over to the house to help her sister when she was in labor because her sister wanted her help, but Jill couldn't provide the assistance until we got it cleared with JB." Dangerous feud. Counting On and 19 Kids and Counting are two of the family's reality shows that air on TLC. Derick and Jill have been vocal in their criticism of her parents for many years, even going so far as to accuse Jim Bob of stealing money from them that they had earned from the show. In the documentary Shiny Happy People, which was released in 2023, Jill and Derick criticized her father. According to what she claimed, after Israel's birth, we asked TLC to pay us enough to cover what our out-of-pocket costs were for health insurance for Israel's birth. That is the amount that we requested. It was reported that they had reimbursed the family. Because we have already paid the family, we do not receive anything at that moment. "Well, we paid your dad, so you should take it up with him," Derick continued. "They said that. Despite my best efforts, I was never paid. Not a thing. There is no cash. None of it." Jill jumped up and said, "I was never paid over the course of 7.5 years of my adult life." Counting the Cost, the blistering tell-all written by Jill and Derick, includes her assertion that Jim Bob deceived her into signing a contract with TLC on the day of her wedding, and that he only offered her $80,000 after she was put under severe duress. On the other hand, she asserted that his company made $8 million from the show. Jim Bob and Michelle issued a statement in response to her allegations, which read as follows: "We love all of our children that we have very much. In every family there are few things that are more excruciating than disagreements or problems that arise between the people you love. We have made it a priority to address our children, our finances, and our other efforts in a manner that is honorable. We have the intention and the desire to live a life that glorifies Christ, despite the fact that it is not flawless. Due to the fact that we do not believe that the media or a public platform is the most effective means of resolving problems, facilitating forgiveness and reconciliation, or communicating through challenges, we shall refrain from making any comments. As the future unfolds, we will continue to love our family, pray for them, and enjoy every moment gifted to us to be parents and grandparents." Since the publication of the book, Jill and Derick have established a particularly distant relationship with her parents, and they frequently miss important family gatherings. Jill, on the other hand, got together with all 8 of her sisters and her mother the week before last. Jill and Derick are celebrating Christmas at her parents' house for the very first time in many years for the first time. Since the huge reunion, the pair has not yet made any comments about it. In a world where families often experience the complexities of strained relationships, the Duggar family is no exception. Known for their reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, and later Counting On, the Duggar family captured the attention of millions with their unique lifestyle, deeply rooted in religious values, and a focus on family unity. However, behind the scenes, the Duggar family's dynamics have been anything but simple. One of the most dramatic and publicized rifts in recent years has been between Jill Duggar and her father, Jim Bob Duggar. For years, Jill, the fourth-born child in the Duggar family, and her husband, Derick Dillard, were seemingly distanced from Jim Bob and the rest of the family. Their departure from the tight-knit Duggar clan raised eyebrows and sparked speculation. The couple's choice to step away from the show and their strained relationship with Jim Bob, which reached a point where Jill and Derick were effectively banned from the Duggar family home, led to questions about the family's behind-the-scenes struggles. But recently, in an unexpected turn of events, Jill and Derick have reconnected with Jim Bob, reuniting after 5 years of tension. This reunion, both joyous and poignant, marks a significant moment in the Duggar family's ongoing saga. The Duggar family and its public image. The Duggar family first rose to fame in 2004 with the premiere of 19 Kids and Counting, which showcased Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's life with their 19 children. Their staunch adherence to conservative Christian values, homeschooling, and large family dynamic captivated audiences. The show emphasized themes of modesty, self-discipline, and a focus on family life, setting the Duggar family apart in the landscape of reality television. However, as with many reality TV families, the Duggars' public persona was often in stark contrast to what was unfolding behind closed doors. The Duggar family became embroiled in a series of controversies, particularly involving Jim Bob's strict control over the family's decisions and media appearances. The family was also affected by scandals involving their eldest son, Josh Duggar, whose criminal actions in the past would resurface, affecting the entire family's reputation. Despite these controversies, Jim Bob Duggar remained a central figure in the family's public narrative, with the show continuing to document his life as the patriarch. But beneath the surface, there were tensions brewing, especially between Jill and her father. As a result, Jill's departure from the family's inner circle and her choice to leave the family's television career raised numerous questions among fans and critics alike. The fallout, Jill Duggar's estrangement from Jim Bob. Jill Duggar's decision to distance herself from her father and the family was not an overnight development. Over the years, Jill had expressed concerns about the control Jim Bob had over her life, particularly his influence on her career choices and the way in which the family's public image was managed. Many of Jill's decisions, both personally and professionally, were made in response to her feelings of autonomy and the desire to establish her own path away from her father's shadow. One of the key moments that marked the beginning of Jill's estrangement was her decision to stop appearing on the family's reality shows, 19 Kids and Counting, and later Counting On. Her departure from the shows was not just a career decision but also a symbolic move away from the family's entertainment empire. Jill and her husband Derick Dillard, who was often vocal about his disagreements with the Duggar family's approach, were particularly outspoken about their desire for independence. In interviews and social media posts, Jill and Derick began to share more about their struggles within the Duggar family, revealing that they felt controlled and manipulated by Jim Bob. Derick, in particular, was critical of Jim Bob's handling of the family's finances and the way he allegedly sought to control his children's media appearances and income. This sentiment deepened over time, with Jill becoming more vocal about her emotional and spiritual struggles, which she attributed to the oppressive nature of her father's influence. The tension reached a peak when Jill and Derick revealed that they had been effectively banned from the Duggar family home. For 5 years, the couple faced exclusion from family gatherings, holidays, and celebrations, which were once considered a central part of their lives. Their absence from major family events, such as weddings and births, fueled speculation about the depth of the rift and whether reconciliation was even possible. The role of religion in the Duggar family dynamic. Religion has always played a central role in the Duggar family's life, shaping not only their values but also their relationships. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who have long adhered to a conservative Christian worldview, made sure that their children were raised with strict religious principles. The family's faith was a cornerstone of their identity, and it was often presented as the basis for their decisions, including the way they raised their children and managed their public lives. However, Jill's decision to step away from the family's religious framework and her search for a more personal spiritual journey was another significant factor in her strained relationship with Jim Bob. Jill and Derick began to explore different aspects of Christianity, which sometimes put them at odds with her father's more traditional views. Jill, for instance, openly discussed her evolving perspective on issues such as birth control, modesty, and the role of women in the church. These changes were not well received by Jim Bob, who had long emphasized a very specific interpretation of Christian values for his family. For Jim Bob, maintaining the Duggar family's public image as a beacon of conservative Christianity was crucial. Any deviation from the carefully curated image of unity, family, and faith was seen as a threat to the family's legacy. Jill's decision to embrace a more independent path spiritually was a form of rebellion against the rigid structure Jim Bob had imposed on the family, which further strained their relationship. Derick Dillard's influence on Jill's life and decisions. Derick Dillard, Jill's husband, played a pivotal role in the couple's departure from the Duggar family fold. Known for his outspoken views, particularly on social media, Derick quickly became a vocal critic of the Duggar family's inner workings. His criticisms of Jim Bob's financial management, as well as his concerns about the control exerted over Jill's career, sparked a backlash from the Duggar family's fans and media outlets. Despite the public tension, Jill's relationship with Derick deepened, and together, they sought a life outside of the Duggar family spotlight. Derick, who had initially been brought into the Duggar family through his marriage to Jill, was determined to ensure that their future was not dictated by the same forces that had controlled Jill's life growing up. As a result, he became more involved in the couple's decision to distance themselves from the Duggars, even going so far as to publicly criticize Jim Bob's actions. Jill, who had spent her life under the watchful eye of her father, found solace in her marriage to Derick, whose support enabled her to redefine her sense of self. Together, they moved forward with their own career aspirations, including building a life beyond reality TV and pursuing education, careers, and a more balanced family life. The reunion. What led to the change? The news of Jill and Derick's reunion with Jim Bob after 5 years of estrangement came as a surprise to many. In a series of social media posts and interviews, Jill and Derick explained that they had reconciled with Jim Bob after a period of reflection, prayer, and honest communication. They credited the healing of old wounds to a change in perspective and a shared desire to move forward as a family. Jill emphasized that the reconciliation was not about returning to the family's television empire or regaining control over her career decisions. Instead, it was about healing old emotional scars and mending their relationships for the sake of their children and their personal peace. Jill expressed that while their relationship with Jim Bob would never be the same as it was before the estrangement, they had reached a place of mutual respect and understanding. For Jim Bob, the reunion was a chance to rebuild his relationship with his daughter and son-in-law. While he had been a central figure in the family's public persona, his role in the personal lives of his children had become increasingly contentious. The reunion with Jill and Derick marked an opportunity for Jim Bob to acknowledge the pain he had caused and take responsibility for his actions. However, he also made it clear that his desire for family unity was a priority moving forward. Moving forward, a new chapter for the Duggar family. The reunion between Jill, Derick, and Jim Bob signals a new chapter for the Duggar family, one that focuses less on public image and more on private healing. Jill and Derick's journey has been one of self-discovery, as they navigated the challenges of growing up in a family with strict rules and expectations. Their decision to reconcile with Jim Bob represents a significant shift in their relationship as they move past old conflicts and embrace the possibility of a renewed connection. While the details of their reconciliation remain private, the reunion between Jill and Jim Bob is a reminder that even the most public families face private struggles. As the Duggar family continues to evolve, their story serves as a testament to the complexities of family relationships, forgiveness, and the possibility of healing, no matter how deep the wounds may be. The next chapter for the Duggars will undoubtedly be shaped by this reunion, as Jill, Derick, and Jim Bob work together to rebuild their relationships on their own terms. For fans of the Duggar family, this moment of reconciliation may offer a sense of closure, while also raising new questions about the future of the family and their continued place in the public eye. Regardless of what comes next, it's clear that the Duggar family's journey is far from over, and the reunion between Jill and Jim Bob is just one part of a much larger, ongoing story.